person responsible for that lovely treat you have in front of you right now. We had a great turnout, so Shankar has been busy up here trying to get ahead of it all because he can't very well speak over the machine and share with you what he's doing while he's preparing these samples for you. So we're going to kick it off with some samples, and I'm going to hand it over. Many of you may know Shankar, but I'm going to introduce him. Shankar Jayavelu, a holistic nutrition specialist in Western herbalist, focuses on nutritional and herbal therapies. Shankar's goal is to educate and empower people in supporting their health goals. To do this, he uses the body's innate abilities with wholesome organic food, natural non-toxic herbs, and highest quality nutritional supplements, along with simple lifestyle changes that assist in creating a healthy environment. Shankar's belief is in the healing power of nature, and it is his personal knowledge and understanding that the human body is inherently able to restore and maintain health. Shankar has been trained in holistic nutrition and Western herbalism at Southwest Institute of Healing Arts in Tempe. His passion lies in educating how to best enhance our body's own innate healing capacity. So let's welcome Shankar.
Thank you, Annie. Welcome everyone. It's amazing that we have a lot of support here, and I'm super excited to share what I think will be really helpful for each and every one of you. So I want to start the talk by the quote from Anton Chekhov. This is from the Great Minds Leadership Library that is in the second and third floor break rooms. It says, knowledge is of no value unless you put it into practice. This means we got to put it into practice, something that we learn. So today I'm going to share with you the importance of having a good protein breakfast, and then it is very simple to put it into practice using a smoothie that you're all tasting right now. So talking about breakfast is the most important meal of a day. And why that one is, we'll just have a little brief introduction about why we need to do it. Breakfast actually sets the energy for the day. And also unfortunately, when we don't take breakfast, what happens is our blood sugar level drops low. When the blood sugar drops low, the adrenals, which are two little glands that sits on top of the kidneys, secrete a hormone called as cortisol. It is called as the stress hormone, and this stress hormone becomes very high when the glucose falls down. So what does is it pulls the energy out of our muscles and makes glucose, because we need to have glucose in our blood. So when the energy is being pulled out of the muscles, we feel tired and we feel lethargic. That's when we don't eat any breakfast, we feel so tired. Also, it helps the fat storage, and we won't have good quality of sleep throughout the night actually. So that's an important reason why if we don't take breakfast, that could be a reason for obesity too. The other scenario that we have is if we take too much of carbohydrate related breakfast, like waffles and pancakes and pastries, all these things, if we have that one, what happens inside physiologically in our body is the glucose level shoots up really high. When the glucose shoots up very high, the cortisol level, which is the stress hormone which keeps us healthy and energetic throughout the morning, it will go down. So when it goes down, then we feel tired and we feel fatigued. So carbohydrate related breakfast makes us tired, and the sugar also goes super high. And also this erratic blood sugar that happens inside our body, it also creates mood disturbances, which means we'll get annoyed, angry, and get pissed off at anything and everything in the morning. So it's because of the physiological reaction that happens in our body. So this is something that we need to be aware of what's going on. And also a good protein breakfast will sets the mood, because we are allowing the morning cortisol levels still to be higher, but the glucose level will be still a little bit lower, and we'll add a little bit of carbohydrate into that too. And also with the smoothie that you had with proteins, alkalizing vegetables and greens, it has very low calories. So just as a reference for the calorie, like 1 calorie for protein, if you take 1 gram of protein, it is 4 calories. 1 gram of carbohydrate is again 4 calories, and 1 gram of fat is 9 calories. So we can see that fat has a little higher calories than the proteins and carbs. And there are many definitions for calories. One definition that I really like is calories are the little bugs or the creatures that live in our closet that stitches our clothes tighter and tighter every night, actually. So you buy something, a cloth, and 3 months later, you can't wear it. So it's the calorie bugs. So we'll see what happens when we have protein. We all know about protein is super important for us. Like when we go work out or whatever physical activity that we do, then we take a protein shake. Now there are other important functions of protein too. So let's see a little bit more so that we understand why it is important for us. The first and foremost, protein is important in cellular replication and reproduction. So any kind of cellular inflammation, protein is needed to repair it. Also, protein is essential for our nervous system, for our cardiovascular system, and also it is needed for producing antibodies which fight off the bugs in our body. And the huge thing is about detoxification. So our liver is the gland that detoxifies our body. All the waste that we make in our body gets detoxified by the liver. And one of the important antioxidants that the liver produces is called glutathione. So this antioxidant helps in cleaning up the body. And for this to be present, we need protein. So it helps in cleaning up the protein. Also, to have beautiful skin, we need protein. A protein called L-proline is essential for making our skin smoother. And also for our immune system, very essential to make our immune system strong. So protein is essential in all of those things. The one thing to understand is, the protein that we eat doesn't really become the protein in our body. It only gives the necessary raw materials called amino acids from which our body makes our own protein. So there are many varieties of protein that is available and in different foods like brown rice, quinoa, any kind of a green veggies. And also it is available in fish and in meat. So when we take meat as a source of protein, one thing that we need to be aware of is the fat content. We saw that the fat has a little higher calories than the protein, but the other important thing about fat is all the toxins that are excreted by humans as well as in animals, they get stored in the fat, because fat stores the toxins in our body as well as in animal body. So it is essential that we be mindful of taking fat out of our animal fat actually, and take lean meat. So that's one of the reasons that we want to be a little bit aware of it. And proteins, for having a good morning protein smoothies, I take brown rice protein, fermented brown rice protein. You can buy it online. And also the other one that I like is vegan protein from Innate. This has pea protein in it. I really like both these two brands, vegetarian based protein, and these have like approximately like 17 grams of protein per serving. So we can add this for our morning smoothies, and this would be a good kickstart for our body. So that's about proteins. So the next one that we want to add for our morning is about fiber. We might have heard of fiber. Fiber is essential for us to help to keep a good bowel movement. Also, it is essential for detoxification, because the fiber in our body pulls all the hormones and the toxic things that is not required, and it sends it out of our body through the intestines. So fiber is an essential part of a healthy diet, and it also helps in reducing the belly fat and helps in managing the cholesterol. And there are multiple types of fiber. You might have heard of the soluble fiber, insoluble fiber, and resistant starch fiber is kind of the new thing. I'll just give a small overview of what it means. So soluble fiber means, as the name implies, it is soluble in water. And this is helpful for the small intestine. There are billions and billions of bacteria in our small intestines that helps to maintain our immunity and breaking down the food. So it is the food for the good bacteria in our body. That is the soluble fiber. Examples are nuts, seeds, and whole grains like brown rice, quinoa, almonds. All these are good fiber. It has good fibers in it. The next one is insoluble fiber. When we talk about vegetables, root vegetables or brown rice or anything like that. So the insoluble fiber is something that helps to push fecal matter out of us. So it gives something for the intestines to push it through. It strengthens the intestines. So examples of insoluble fiber or vegetables. So for our smoothie, protein smoothie, I added celery. You can add any vegetables to it. So root vegetables and also brown rice, any kind of grains, all these have insoluble fiber also. So this insoluble fiber is essential for a good bowel movement for us. The next one is resistant starch fiber. Resistant starch fiber is something new. This actually gets broken down by the good bacteria in our stomach, but it takes long time. It takes many hours for the good bacteria to break it down. So what happens is it balances the insulin level in our body. The blood glucose level in our body will be maintained by the resistant starch fiber. So examples are white beans. We use the cannellini beans in the smoothie. And yes, we can have beans in the smoothie. If you buy white beans, just wash it and add a little bit to it, you have the resistant starch. It gives a sense of fullness to us. So white beans, great northern beans, and also the other one that has resistant starch fiber is boiled potatoes. So it's boiled potatoes. I'm not talking about potatoes in other forms like French fries. That doesn't count. So when we are talking about good resistant starch that makes you feel full and helps the good bacteria also. So we are talking about boiled potatoes and white beans. And also unripe bananas, it acts as a resistant starch. So we can add those in our smoothies too. So it gives a good head start. So we have protein, then we talked about fiber. So fiber, we added the beans for the fiber. And then the next one that I want to talk about is we can add veggies, as I mentioned earlier. For this, I used celery. You can add squash or zucchini, and then we can add carrots, beets. Play around with it. Come up with your own creative ideas and see what you like and what you don't like. So you can just keep doing what it is tasteful for you. So we added celery for the vegetables, and especially celery is very high in potassium, and potassium is essential for maintaining the blood pressure in our body, and also it is high in vitamin K. Vitamin K helps in the bone building of the bone and keeps the bone strength, and also it is helpful as a diuretic, which means it pulls out the unwanted liquid in our body, and it makes us pee very well. So celery is good. You can add the vegetables in that one. And also the next one that I added was good fats. So for fat, I added avocado. I just cut up some avocado and then I added the fats to that one. Now fats are very essential for us. because it is needed for our cardiovascular system to function very well, and also the immune system to function very well. So cardiovascular system, when I'm talking about cardiovascular system, all the blood vessels that go inside our body, those has to be flexible, because there is issues like hardening of the arteries, like arteriosclerosis, and all kinds of problems that happens because of the hardening. So fats, essential fats, are needed to keep our vascular system very flexible. There are around 62,000 miles of blood vessels in our body. 62,000 miles of blood vessels. That is a lot. So having good fats is actually a big deal, and we need to take care of that one. So there are examples of good fat is, I used avocado in our smoothie today. Avocados have excellent monounsaturated fat in it. So monounsaturated fat are the same fat that is available in olive oil, that is a part of the Mediterranean diet, which is a heart healthy diet. And also avocados has high in vitamin K, which is helpful for the bone and also for maintaining the blood pressure. Also, the other things that you can add for fats is hemp seed oil, flaxseed oil, or we can add olive oil, coconut oil, all those things, a tablespoon of that. Since it has a little bit higher calorie, if we add some of that one, then it gives a nice consistency, a smoothness to it. And avocado is like nature's butter. So, and it creates a nice consistency and creaminess to it. So having some avocado in a smoothie, just an example of that. And fats are so essential. Fish oils, those are essential fatty acids that is needed to keep our body smooth, our blood vessels very smooth and pliable. So I added fats in it. The next one that I added was antioxidants, berries. This I got from Costco. These are organic triple berry blend with blueberries, blackberries, and strawberries. And berries are considered to be most important for protecting our cells. And antioxidant means it is something that prevents the damage to our cells even before it starts. And especially blueberries, those are known to be having a higher antioxidant potential, and it helps in our brain to prevent the oxidative stress. What that means is age-related diseases like dementia, researchers shows that blueberries can slow it or prevent those kind of disease. So any kind of a berries we can use to add it, and blueberries and blackberries, these are low in sugar also. So this is something that I use. And also the next one that I added was greens. Now greens, you can add any kind of a greens to it. We added kale. You can add turnip greens or the beet tops. Those can be added into the smoothies. And also we can add chard, collard greens. Just rotate the smoothies. No needed to use the same thing again and again. And why we are talking about greens is so important. Greens. Because greens helps to detoxify our body. And also many researchers have come to the same kind of agreement on this detoxification properties. What it means is we eat food and there are a lot of pesticides in the food that we eat, and also there are other with the air that we breathe, pollution, it goes inside our body. The skin products that we put on our body, it has chemicals in it, and all of this goes inside our body. And our body is excellent in recycling all of these things. So our liver detoxifies it, processes it, and sends it over to the intestines after it does its thing. But now here is the problem. After it goes to the intestines, it can get reabsorbed back into the liver. The reason is, this is good when we need to get reabsorbed like vitamins or minerals or bile or cholesterol, all of those things getting reabsorbed from the intestines is actually a good thing. But when you're talking about toxins, when it goes inside our body and gets reabsorbed, those never get to leave the body. So then that can become a problem. So here is where our greens come into play. The green pigment called chlorophyll in the green go and grab those toxins and sends it out to our intestines. That's why greens are excellent for us. And having green poop is good. So all of you go green, which means you are getting rid of toxins. And kale is awesome, because I used kale because a lot of people are, now it is in the new health field that everybody going kale. We have kale chips and all the things. So I just, I kaled up our juice today. So in kale, again, the main component is the sulfur components that helps in detoxification of the liver, and also it has vitamin K and potassium and also other vitamins and minerals. So something green. The main thing that needs to be understood with green is a lot of us love to eat salads, and instead of focusing on having one big salad in a meal, frequency makes it more effective, if I would say. Having a little bit of spinach in the morning, afternoon and night goes a long way, because we are helping our body to naturally detoxify little by little in the morning, afternoon and night, and it keeps our bowel system really good. And for kale, I have a pop quiz. What is the movie made by the Disney that has vegetables in it? VeggieTales, good guess. Well, it's a fairy kale. Like kale, like a fairy tale, a fairy kale, something like that. So, kale is good. So, any kind of green thing, you can add it to your smoothies, and it makes it helpful naturally. You're detoxifying your body. Then, what else did I add? I added coconut water. Coconut water is great. You can just add regular water to it and see how it, how it works for you. Coconut water has great salts and also protein and tasty, very tasty, and it gives a nice consistency to it. It's like the nature's electrolyte. People drink it when they go out on hikes or something. So carrying a water, having a coconut water is pretty good. So you can try this one out. And also I added, for sweetness, I added bananas to it. So natural sweetness. So the smoothie that you had has no artificial sweetness and no colors added, no fillers, just natural sweetener from the banana. So banana is very helpful for any kind of stomach problems that we have, and it is helpful for any ulcers because it has the capacity to inhibit the growth of H. pylori bacteria, which is one of the reasons for stomach ulcers. And it is naturally sweet. We love sweet things, and having something naturally sweet also increases our appetite. So adding a little bit of banana or any kind of other fruit will be helpful. And after all this, what did I else add? Then we had a secret ingredient that added to our smoothie. Me, Annie, Merrily, and Adrian, we added our love to it because there was a lot of work that was involved in making this session happen. So I do wanted to thank my friends who made all of this happen for all of us. Without their help, this wouldn't have happened. So thank you. And so I'm inviting you to try this out. It is very simple. All the main problem that we will have is buying all these things. When we go to the grocery stores, just grab a little of this, some green, some protein, and some fiber, and some vegetables, and you can simply make it within 5 minutes at home, and it will get your day going forward. So I'm inviting you to try this one out, see how you feel for maybe a week or so, and that will help you immensely and energetically. So last and least, I would love to thank each and every one of you for coming here, because this is a huge inspiration for me also to share my passion of health to all of you. Thank you, everybody. Yeah, probably a couple of questions.
So if there are a couple questions, we can get to that. But more importantly, I want to encourage you, if you haven't considered it and you are on Facebook, we do have a closed Facebook page where Sankar is kind enough to share what he calls the daily feed. For those of you who are members of that group, you'll see it. But he's there too to ask questions of. So I know we are running out of time for today, But if you wanted to join, I'm sure that you're open to answering questions at any point.
Yeah, definitely.
But you can also tap into his knowledge there on a daily basis. So it's fantastic. I want to, again, thank Shankar for everything that you did.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you to our coffee house hosts in the back. And,
Yay.
we hope this was informative. I'm going to hand it over to you.